Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Welcome on in to Season 3. It is the 100% Sunday division, and as it is the first round, let's go through our driver lineups. Of course, if you are over here from TikTok, you'll know this already, but for those just joining us for the first time, let's go through. It's Elthenial and Matt Tudor rounding out the McLaren seats. Ferrari has Mazza and Mr. Traps himself. Red Bulls have its Deckers and Gavboy, Meldrum and Dan Lovett. Round out the Mercedes seats. Aston Martin have Hash and Dinosaur. Alpine, my personal favourites of I Have No Grip and Josh 13. Haas having the experience of Race Chase and Season 2 champion Jamaican Jam. Racing Bulls having Jamsey and PH19. Of course, the latter of the two needing to prove some experience. Let's see what he can do. Williams got the returning SSRL Quincy coming off of his ban in the Friday division from Season 2 Montreal. Bracey have a very quick... Bracey also known to be a very quick driver. Williams there got a nice all-rounder as well. Kick Saubers have Dembliss and Perzik as well. So another nice balance in the teams here. Let's see how this season goes along, which, speaking of the season, 24 races to come this season. Of course, we start all the way in Silverstone. We will travel all over the world to end in Abu Dhabi. But let's go to the lobby. And there is excitement in the chat already. Mr. Traps himself, hello to you. Dexaf2, hello to you. Good to know that people are excited for this very interesting and very unique season for the Nitro Realistic Racing League. And we will now begin by taking a 18-minute qualifying session to decide places first through 18th. A couple of drivers are not here with us, but otherwise a fantastic attendance of 18 drivers are here with us tonight. Deck Saf 2, if you can let me know who you are, I can hype you up appropriately. You are hoping for, though, you want to finish top 7, says Deck Saf. I'm trying to figure out who you are. You can just let me know. That would be very nice of you indeed. Deckers, okay, thank you very much. I should have put 2 and 2 together, really. DEC. But anyway, the countdown has begun in qualifying. We have 30 seconds on the board already, and a Ferrari that will be of just Mr. Traps himself, the sole running Ferrari here tonight, hoping to bring a smile onto the Tifosi's face. And in fact, if you look at the clouds up above, you might want to get out as quickly as you possibly can. It is an overcast day here in Silverstone. That is very British indeed. And that was a Williams ahead. So that will be the Williams of Card Elf. 7812. I'm just going to call him Card Elf just for the time being, just because the number's there. There's no other name there that contradicts Card Elf, or it's even similar. So Card Elf will be leading the field behind him. So 17 drivers at some point will make their way out. There's even a Red Bull already at pit exit as well. But of course, this iteration of Silverstone has 18 turns at a length of 5.9 kilometers. And at 3.7 miles. The race lap record still held around here, as far as I can see, is a 1:27.0 from Max Verstappen in the RB16 back in 2020. First opened this circuit was in 1948, as after apparently somebody in the 1940s saw that they lived by this abandoned airfield, don't know which one that could have been, and phoned up 12 or 14 of his friends and said, hey, do you want to go racing here in, like, our fast sports cars? They all said yes. And then since then, we have become to know this as the British home of motorsport, and this will begin our first race of 24 rounds. Now, I do just need to say, I'm not going to be able to be here with you all of the season, I'm afraid. I will be moving to the States, which means my time zones will just be thrown off, I'm afraid. So, we do have a replacement potentially in the works once we get to that point, but otherwise I'll do as many races as I can, but I can't guarantee I'll be able to do all that many. But otherwise, well, let's just focus on things as they are right now. Card Elf gets us underway. Support for Traps in the chat as well from Captain Spoon 2. I love that username indeed. But the Williams getting us underway. They go through the loop, they go through Aintree, and now it's on to the first of 3 straights. This is the Wellington straight here. Of course, the Hamilton straight does the new start-finish line, but through Brooklands comes the Williams, and then it's going to be Luffield through this second part, and now get the exit right, because now you're going to be at Woodcote onto the old start-finish straight, which of course was last in use either in 2010 or 2011. Now you're approaching Copse Corner, which had an iconic moment back in 2021, and then we will go through into Maggots and Beckett's here. I just need to check one thing very, very quickly, and yes, it is all okay. And at the moment now, through Maggots and Beckett's onto Chapel. Now this is the Hanger Straight, of course, in memorial to the fact that this was once an RAF airfield. Approaching Stowe at nearly 180 miles per hour. Get that down into about 5th gear. Go through the corner at 140 miles per hour, but now you're coming through here into Vale. Slow it right down. Get yourself set up for Club Corner any moment now. And there we go. Right-hander is Club, and that is going to be a banker set by Card Elf. 7812 a 128.5. Send me an invite, please. David says Silly Season Radio League. Thought you was working, boss. Hello. But anyway, let's have a look then. Let's get you invited then. It seems like we've had an issue with invites. And, okay, hang on. Hang on. Let me see. Do I even have you added? Yes, I do. There you go. Invite sent to you, Quincy. As there we go. Now back to the on-track action. Deckers has just set a 127.1. I got to go in. Oh, your spot has been taken, I think. Oh, this setup honk, says Mr. Traps, as he's up into 3rd with a 129.0, and there we go. And then Ron Gigatron Lover? I think that is meant to be Ron Gigatron Lover, goes up into 3rd, as I Have No Grip then takes that away, 126.9. Now, I Have No Grip, one of my favourites for this season, was really proving himself in the Friday division before that got completely reset. And, well, definitely one to look out for, I would say. He's already at the top of the timing boards in this early stage of qualifying. And 126.9, that's certainly a good banker to set there from the Alpine driver. But let's have a look at Season 2 champion, Jamaican Jam, as a McLaren ahead of him. Understeers going through what is Village and then into the loop, which is this corner through here. And, well, Jamaican Jam bringing out the Japanese livery from the house, and with the Sakura flowers there. Of course, no relation at all, but McDonald's do have a very nice drink. It is the Sprite Zero Sakura Sprite. Please do try that when you can. But anyway, enough about that. Going through Lovefield, Jamaican Jam is currently looking to set things alight, looking to hold on to his championship from Season 2. Dan Lovett was Season 1 champion, and we'll see if these two are going to be the ones battling out, but I just think the field is just a bit more diverse, and I think Dan, based on what I saw in the Friday divisions not too long ago, I think he's going to be a little left behind, but certainly one to keep an eye on. Of course, is a champion also in the Friday division from Season 1 of that league. So, Jamaican Jam now approaching Stowe Corner, but a McLaren ahead. Oh, that's impeding. I am sure of that. Of course, both McLarens have set a time. Eltheniel is currently on a flyer, the Australian driver, but I don't think the Haas driver of Jamaican Jam is going to be very happy about that. Eltheniel is going to be, is going to be in a bit of trouble there as Jamaican Jam goes up to 7th with a 128.3, but that is not representative at all. Jamaican Jam with time to find indeed, and his teammate Race Chase up into 5th place so far, but doesn't have the Sakura livery for the American team. But either way, Race Chase ahead of his teammate at the early part of qualifying. Meldrum now coming in and to set a time. He is up into 7th place. He's just done that not too long ago. Jamsey as well, of course, one of the others, and he's slowed right down, so he's definitely just set his time. He's up into 6th place there, 127.758 so far. Who is still yet set a time? Well, we have a full 20 driver grid now, so this is incredible as Race Chase has retired. Race Chase has crashed! Race Chase has crashed! And Eltheniel gets a 5-place grid penalty for a collision with the driver. I wonder if the two are related. Do we have live pictures from Eltheniel? We certainly do here. Is there any visible damage to the car? We don't have the best of camera angles as we're looking at him going through Woodcote, the old start finish straight. No visible damage there. Or is there a puncture that we can't see? Hang on, let's try and identify this. I can't see anything, to be honest. A word quick, please, David. What's up? 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 Hello?
Hello, David. Just a quick one. I was due to be to work tonight, but I've suddenly been able to go in, but obviously because it's realistic performance, Dan's given me permission to race in the Ferrari, but I will be starting from the back, and my points will not carry forward for this particular race because of how fast the car is, and it's obviously my pace advantage would be unfair. So I'd just like to explain that to you before obviously I jump in the session.
Okay then, thank you very much, Quincy. We'll look forward to seeing you on the track when it is in the race time. Have good luck, have fun.
Thank you, bye-bye.
Bye-bye for now. And there we go. So Quincy just explaining to us, myself, and the stream as High Have No Grip went faster than his personal best of 1:26.8. So Quincy, there you go, starting from the back. There are some reserves not scoring points either. I will just bring up the reminder for those two usernames in just a moment's time. But at the moment, let's see who is now on a flyer. Well, Josh finally on his flyer. Of course, his teammate is the fastest on the track so far, but Josh invalidates through Stowe there. You see that red line? Well, the redness going through the track map there, that means the lap time has been invalidated. So we will now jump to Hash. Hash really impressed me in the recent Friday races, so I really hope that his run of form is going to translate into the Sunday nights. Let's see what he can do. Of course, he's got a stiff field around him as well, but he also had a bit of a stiff field in the Friday when that was running. So let's see what he can do right now. Well, not going to have to wait too long as he's now approaching Vale, and then it'll be Club in just a few moments' time. I don't think he's going to be close to I Have No Grip. Oh, bit of a mistake through there, through Club Corner. That's the momentum of the lap ruined. That is 7th place. That's not bad at all from the Aston Martin driver, but we still have others to come on, and this is what I really want to look out for. Dem Bliss here in the Kick Sauber, and he's given the Kick Sauber for a reason. He is damn quick in whatever car he is given. DRS opening for the first time down the Wellington Straight and approaching Brooklands at a rate of knots there. That was over 200 miles per hour into the corner, and now slow it right down 4th gear and keep it in 4th. Potentially maybe drop down a gear for the revs. No, doesn't need it. That Kick Sauber is rather rear end snappy. That's now going through the gears. Go through Woodcote onto the old start finish straight. Now he's got to approach Cops, still just around 180, 190 miles per hour, but going through the corner, drop it down to 170, take that right-hander. Now it's flat through the first part of Maggots and Beckett's, or maybe not, just a bit of a lift there from Dem Bliss, but either way, that shouldn't affect him too badly, but doesn't invalidate through there. That's crucial. Chapel Curve now, let's DRS zone. This is the hanger straight now. You're approaching Stowe at over 200 miles per hour. In fact, that's 212 miles per hour I saw on his steering wheel, but there you go, through there, that was about 130 miles per hour. Here we go, through Vale for the final, well, for one of the last times in qualifying for Dem Bliss. How fast is it going to be? Let's see what the Kick Sauber can do as he approaches the line. That's 5th place for the Kick Sauber. Now we have PH19, a debutant here in the Nitro Realistic Racing League. Well, P1H9 even, I should say, beg your pardon there, to the Racing Bulls driver. And at the moment, let's see what he can do. Of course, a full-time driver here in NRRL, and at the moment just looking to kind of be on pace with Jamsey here. Let's see what he can do as he's going through Maggots and Beckett's now, and it's very easy to invalidate through Maggots and Beckett's. It would be Beckett's 2 just before Beckett's 3, obviously, the Beckett's 3 being the right-hander. Now he's just gone through Chapel, and you can see his teammate in the background there, who is currently in 4th place at 1:27.2. What can P1H9 do, though, as he's just gone through Stowe and down into the final few corners of the track? Here we go, P1H9 with his first time on the board in the league. That actually looked pretty good, maybe a bit wide, but that is competitive from P1H9. What a first impression he has just set. Incredible time from the debutant, and I Have No Grip may just start to worry a little bit there. This could be a tighter qualifying than I initially expected. Ron Gigatron Lover, I think that's what it's meant to say, but he's put over L, so I think he's had to swap things around due to, of course, copying a username. Maybe that's already in use. And, well, we'll see how that goes for him. But there's an Alpine. Is there an Alpine out on the track? Well, there's one coming into the pits. There's also a Haas driver coming into the pits. There's a Williams currently on a flyer, but I'm just trying to identify which one that is at the moment. That'll be Bracy. At the moment, just currently in 8th place, but there's not much separating the drivers as now. Who's that going in to? I think that was Jamaican Jam. Yes, it was Jamaican Jam into 6th place, Season 2 champion. So could only find, what was it, another second there. didn't find much, or not as much as I thought, and the overclass crowd... Oh, set a new PB and I stay 16th. Lovely, says Mr. Traps. Oh, goodness me. Yeah, no, not where you want to be. Elfenial is currently out on the track as well. He's looking to do better than a 1:31.5. I mean, he's nearly 3 seconds off of Traps there. Speaking of, I don't think that's going to get better, of course. As we already know, Quincy will not be setting a time, and he retires from the session. And his teammate, though, is currently out on the track, but he's got drivers behind. There is the Mercedes of... I don't think that's Ron Gigatron Lover behind. That would be Meldrum here, the Scots driver, a second down. And there is front wing damage to him there. We didn't quite see what happened. Don't know if there was something with the Red Bull, or who is there? Elfenial is there, and not too far away from the scene of the crime either. I wonder if there's been some more drama race chase. I would need to see what's happened to him, or maybe try and grab some quotes off the Discord here. I'll try and get those to you as well, and keep an eye on the server, and we'll just see what's going on. SS says Elfenial, that's in the welcome chat, but let's have a look. I thought he was going to move. Oh, hang on a minute. Yeah, hang on a minute. I'm just trying to figure it out now. Was out, so Elfenial was out of gas, trying to get to the end of his lap, and Race Chase thought he was going to move over, but evidently didn't. So, I don't know how that's going to fall. If that goes to the stewards, obviously no... Obviously, the admin has encouraged no arguing in the chat and rather take it to the stewards. But anyway, Decker's now in third place and has gone faster than his personal best. Remember, the delta in the top right compares to the driver's overall personal best in the session. No, the driver's personal best in the session, not the overall session best. So do remember that when you look at the delta. But otherwise, at the moment, it's a 1:27.118 and has gone nearly a tenth faster. So this is just a low 27 for now. But can he find something here? Going through Maggots and Beckett's out of Chapel Curve now. Let's have a look. And that is 3.5 tenths. Oh, Deckers here is on a time. And I think he's actually just passed I Have No Grip. Indeed, he has. That was the guy just getting out of the way. So he didn't impede the Red Bull driver. But now, coming to Vale, what can Deckers do? Can he find pole? He's found Miracle in Sector 2, but does I Have No Grip have the better advantage with the track evolution being on his side? And Deckers only beats the time by just over a tenth, but then just behind him, I Have No Grip. Let's see what could be a very critical lap for the British Grand Prix to open a 24 race season. Deckers has just gone pole. I Have No Grip is probably on the lap of his life. Jamsey, Den Bliss, Bracy, Ron Gigatron Lover, and Jamsey all on their outlaps. Of course, Jamaican Jam will be following suit very soon, as I imagine P1H9 will too. The sun is shining over the British track, and that could mean we see no rain, as there's just very little time for that to be a... Deckers was not this fast last season, says Traps. Deckers 1 second back. Jackers saying holy as he saw that Deckers went straight up to pole, but I Have No Grip so far will be on a mega lap as well. He's already used half his battery. He's just gone through Cops now and approaching Maggots and Beckett's. We need to see what that Sector 2 time is. I didn't catch what it was in Sector 1, but at the moment now, this is only comparing to his personal best on the top right. We'll need to do the mathematics. This is faster. No Grip is finding all the grip here in Silverstone, contradicting his username. Through Stowe he goes. Only a few corners to go. He's looking like he's gliding the car through the corner there. Not much at all in that steering input. Now into Vale, and then through to the final couple of corners here. This one is club. What is the time gonna be? It's pole position, but again, it's not by much. A tenth and a bit, a tiny bit. It is marginal improvements here, as Jamsey's also improving through Sector 2, but that looked wide going into Chapel, but that was 3/10 improvement there. This could be overall another lap. That is absolutely impeccable from Jamsey. As he goes through Stone now, that looked a bit slow, but I think he was okay. Let's go on board with the Racing Bulls driver as he finishes the lap. The battery is almost depleted, as it should be. He cuts more off the corner there, but not to a point of invalidation. Here we go. That is third place for Jamsey, a 1:26.9, and there'll be times flying in thick and fast, as now the Jamsey's teammate now begins his final flyer. P1H9 set a good first flyer as Hash has retired from the session there. I didn't see why. I think he's currently in the pit lane, but there is a yellow flag for an Aston Martin there, as Bruiser actually hasn't really made any moves. Again, I've seen him do that very recently. Eltheniel also isn't out at the moment. He's still on a 1:31.583, as Mr. Traps is also flying here through that. Well, that's not Sector 1. But that is no improvement from him. If that is get with the game, practice like 2 hours today. Oh, goodness me. Thank you, Deckers, for the information there, as he has completed qualifying, but currently in second place. So the drivers who are not going to set a lap, obviously Quincy, we know. James, the reserve, is not going to be setting any points for the Constructors nor the Drivers' Championship. So he is just racing to try and get a potential full-time seat later on in the season. As, P1, H9. Oh, it's gone right into the barrier. He's gone into the barrier at Chapel after taking to the grass, and he is not going to improve at all. As Den Bliss just went to the line there. Ron Gigatron Lover also improving, but, well, no, his session is over. Jamaican Jam now through Club, and now Jamaican Jam 7th place. He will stay there, and we just need to know what Mr. Traps is going to do. Currently in 16th place. Can he go anywhere? He needs a 10th on James to not be the last, to not be the second to last driver to set a time. Here we go, Mr. Traps to 15th at the very least. He'll be happy with that. That brings him between James and Matt Tudor for 15th place. So if he was going into qualifying 2, he would, he'd just make it by the skin of his teeth, but probably no further than that. But P1, H9 there, going into the barrier at Chapel. And that kind of spelled the end of it, but I have no grip. Continuing his fine run of form from Fridays, is now top of the boards, and former champion, current champion, Jamaican Jam, all the way down in 7th. As Jamaican Jam also saying, I love when people don't know how to drive in quali. And Hash also saying, don't retire, Dan giving a little bit of a notice to Hash, don't retry on track, ruined his lap. So that's why we didn't see any improvement from Dan either. But anyway, your unofficial results coming out of, your official qualifying results, top 5 is No Grip, Deckers, Jamsey, Dan Bliss, and P1H9. Then it's Ron Gigatron Lover, followed by Jamaican Champ, Gavboy, Bracy, and Race Chase, rounding out your top 10. 11th to 15th is Meldrum, Hash, Cardelf, Matt Tudor, and Mr. Traps. Then from 16th to 20th is James, Eltheniel, but Eltheniel serving a 5-place grid penalty will start at the back, so that means Bruiser 17th, Josh 19th, and Quincy Josh 18th, and then Quincy 19th, with Eltheniel starting in 20th. As Deckers is saying, this is my season. As we will go at 8:26. So, Deckers buzzing with second, as he should be. And we will be right back, everybody. We are going to just play some music. We're going to take a 1-minute break. We'll be right back with you very, very soon. With the music stopping, we are now nearly at the start point. 8:26 was the advertised time in British time. So here we go. Matt Tudor saying, in practice, got into the 127s, but in quali, he is not anywhere near the pace that he expected. So a bit of work for Matt Tudor to do. As Decker saying, his best practice was 27.3. So he doesn't know how he actually did that. And I do think it is part mentally when the car is so light and you just have the one and only, well, kind of like the one and done situation in qualifying. I do think it kind of brings something out of you mentally for the drivers. P15 to P1, come on, let's have it, Mr. Traps. Really thinking that he's got a chance at this still, but a long way to go for him. But it is a long race. 52 laps here in Silverstone. We're about to find out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. And a new season is underway. It is going Silverstone, and I have no grip. Well, with just a slightly better start there, but Deckers was even better, and that is Deckers through to the lead of the Grand Prix as Templis is up into third place already. Bit of swapping in the background as James has had a moment in the kick Sauber and is trying to get back on track. Quincy already up into 17th place, and at the moment here, we're now going to see a swap for second. I have no grip, has got no grip at this start, and already down to third from pole position. Deckers now your new leader and already over a second away. Let's have a look at the back of the field. Race chase battling with Bracey going into Luffield. No, sorry, Brooklands, beg your pardon. And well, Bracey is on tonight, but now already fighting round the outside of the Red Bull of Gavboy. Gavboy, I didn't really get to mention. We've been anticipating his return, and so far now into the top 10 already at this early part of the Grand Prix, but there's already more swapping in the background as there's Matt Tudor trying to defend all the way down the inside of Cobbs, and oh, that's the Williams going into the back of the Red Bull, losing his front wing end plate on the right-hand side, and there's all sorts of battling happening up and down the field. Hash battling with Cardell for 15th after that incident, and the Alpine of Josh making his way by. I don't think he even set a lap in qualifying, but Decker's there 1.6 seconds ahead at this early part as Dan Bliss up into second, and I have no grip down to third. Where has his pace gone as Quincy now gets past the Alpine, as the Alpine also missing a front wing end plate? I don't think so. We'll see him come into frame in just a... Yeah, no, and that confirms to me that there is front wing damage as Deckers now sets the fastest lap of the race. And let's see the tyres. Each driver started on Quincy, Elthenial, Jamaican Jam, and Deckers on soft tyres. So that explains the rapid start that the Red Bull got, and that will fall away in a few moments' time. I can promise you that. And, also, the only driver on hard so far, well, two drivers, that's Hash and P1H9. So let's see how they do. Those tyres will really come into their own later on in this stint. But I think most drivers will be wanting the one stop because the pit lane limiter at Silverstone is only about 36 miles per hour. It's usually a standard of 60 miles per hour. But Silverstone being one of the few pit lanes with that speed limit, the drivers do not want to have to make more stops than they have to unless they're under safety car conditions, which of course is very likely as Quincy now gets past Hash for 14th place there. Of course, Quincy coming off of his ban all the way back in the Friday season 1, beg your pardon, of Montreal in that race there, where he deliberately took a driver out, lost his cool for a moment. It's very rare to see that from him, and he's just saying, he even said to the admins, I don't really want to do that again, and he's trying to prove himself here as he starts battling with Matt Tudor, and there's his teammate there, Mr. Traps, and now it's going to be a 3-wide situation going into Stowe, and there's contact between the Ferrari and the McLaren, and that has made Hash take avoiding action, but there's the Ferrari of Mr. Traps there, trying to decide where he wanted to go, and that's caused a bit of a problem, but Matt Tudor swiped out of the race there. That was very unfortunate there for the McLaren driver, and well, I talked about how that Elthenial and Matt Tudor weren't the fastest in the TikTok promotional video, and well, it's certainly coming true here, but points are scored all the way down to 15th, so Elthenial is currently taking the singular point for the team at the very least, so they'll be happy with that, but they won't be happy with how that incident played out with the Ferrari at all. I don't know who was at fault. I didn't get the best of angles either, as now Mr. Traps trying to make a move on Hash. hash here, and there's more contact between the Ferrari and the Aston Martin. But that Ferrari also missing a front wing end plate as well on the left-hand side of the car there. And here's some more battling between the Aston Martin. I don't think he's going to be welcoming this, Will Hash. He was on a good run of form before the Fridays got reset. And there's a pushing and shoving onto the grass there through Cops. And that's the Aston Martin saying, don't you dare think about a move through there. And there was nearly a repeat of a certain incident from many years ago, but through different constructors as Belgium gets his first 3-second penalty of the evening. And that's on lap 3 out of 52, so Belgium might just want to watch it as all that is Altheniel making a mistake through Chapel, and there's Bruiser taking advantage of that. Of course, Bruiser, another American driver with race chase, with just as much experience in tow. There for Bruiser, but has rarely been the fastest. Of course, also races in another league I commentate on, that's SSRL, on Monday and Tuesdays. But anyway, currently looking at the pace here in NRRL, Ron Gigatron Lover is currently just closing up to the back of Jamsey here, but of course, Jamsey's teammate not too far behind either. Of course, I said that my Alpine was the favourites here, but at the moment, Deckers is blowing that prediction away and is currently right on track to take a win so far. But of course, remember, he took the soft tyres, so those will fall away very quickly. In fact, he'll probably be starting to feel the pain in probably just a couple of laps time. They do not last very long. It's usually advisable to kind of get off those as soon as you can, but I'm surprised Deckers is basically going for the 2-stop. He's kind of hemmed himself into one strategy, and I don't think it's going to be the strongest around here just because of the pit lane speed limit that is enforced here. So I don't think that's going to be the strongest tactics there, but for Quincy, he's up 8 positions, so he won't be complaining so far. And for Deckers, well, he's leading by 2.1 seconds, so he's also not going to be complaining so far at this current stage. But I do think later on in the stint, it will come back to bite them, and even at the end of this race, there's been a swap at the back here. In fact, they're side-by-side battling for what is 19th place there. James just gets past. Now, of course, just need to remember, as he is a reserve, he will not be scoring Constructors or Drivers' Championship points. So of course that is a rule brought in for this season, I do think, unless if it's been enforced elsewhere and I just wasn't aware. But otherwise, we continue on at the moment. And this battle for fourth hasn't really changed all that much. So there's more battling here. That's between Matt Tudor and Mr. Traps. These two have already got into drama this race. Are they going to get into some more? Not at the moment. The Ferrari going round the outside there. That was just on the exit of Vale going into Club Corners. And the Ferrari being brave there and has got 2 points for his team so far. But just having a bit of a mess up there because of that aerodynamic disadvantage that he's got due to missing that end plate on the left-hand side there of the Ferrari. Of course, at the moment, no smiles for the Tifosi so far with Mr. Traps, but all the smiles with Quincy so far, up 8 positions, well, 7 positions because of Altheniel's penalty here. But it just looks like that Ferrari is just lacking straight line speed as well. Can you see how Altheniel was catching in the entry of Brooklands? And now it's right alongside him. So I just wonder if Mr. Traps is just a bit down on straight line speed as well. And that's why this has cost him so much pace. I'm just, there's just a bit, I think it's Deckers. I think Deckers is hoping for an early safety car, and I think that's what the comments were all about. But anyway, here we go. Matt Tudor and Mr. Traps now going side by side into the one place you don't want. There's going to be more contact between the two. And at the moment, this isn't really many points on offer here. And that is very feisty and scrappy racing. DRS given to Mr. Traps, but that wasn't the best exit out of Chapel. And there's the Aston Martin of Bruiser trying to get involved in all this. There's Altheniel at the back of your picture as well. Matt Tudor is in the middle of this battle, but Bruiser goes wee at Stowe, and well, it's just losing touch with this battle just a little bit. But Mr. Traps and Matt Tudor fighting very hard for one another. This is for the last points here, 14th and 15th. There's only 1 point for 15th, 2 points for 14th here. So remember that. This is technically a battle of pride, but of course, remember, aerodynamic disadvantage to Ferrari due to the damage on that front wing. But there's Matt Tudor to the inside here at Village, but Then Mr. Trap somehow finds all the grip around the outside, goes right back at him, side by side, battling going on here as Altheniel's caught up to the back of Bruiser as well, just in the back of your frame there as he goes all the way wide at the exit of Aintree, and down the Wellington Straight these two go, and at the moment they're just going to keep it all fair and square for now, but both go wide there at Brooklands. So here we go, lap 6 out of 52, and well, there's certainly been a lot of drama so far. Yeah, and Trap are rightfully observing here, but wait a minute, we're going to see side-by-side action into cops. These two love a bit of drama. There's more contact between the two. Matt Tudor was going side-by-side off the track, has to give that back. And at the moment, these two are perhaps the one causing hearts in mouths for everybody around. And Deckers does seem to be losing time to Den Bliss. Of course, those softs must have worn off by now, and I'm not too shocked by that. Gap now at under 2 seconds. Was it 2.4, as rightly observed? Come on, Traps, keep it on the circuit, says Captain Spoon too. And Bro unlocked his flow state there. Is another thing being said about Decker's pole time. But anyway, down the inside is Matt Tudor, but that's going to be a bit too optimistic, and the two are so close to contact again. But Mr. Traps is defiant in what is only 14th place. There is now 12, nearly 13 seconds to the next car in front. And well, hang on a minute, we're going to see side-by-side battling for what is 5th place, P1H9. Oh, side-by-side with Rogue Gigatron, love a bit of contact between the two, but that is P1H9 through into 5th place for the time being, and now his teammate Jamsey is just up ahead. Can maybe P1H9 drag these, well, what I would say, these... Hang on a minute, and there is many cars, more cars than I thought, as now there's more battling going on between Matt Tudor and there is more carbon fiber flying. In fact, that's more of his front wing going into the runoff area, as now there's more battling here as Meldrum and Quincy go side by side through Maggots and Beckett's. How did they sort that out cleanly? And that is a great move from the Ferrari, and now DRS opening as now Race Chase. There's so much battling happening all at once, it's hard to know where to look at any one time. Jamsey and P1H9 nearly swapped there, but otherwise it all kind of remains fair and square. 3-second penalty for Bruiser there. There was for somebody else as well. I think it was for Card Elf. Let's just check the penalty total so far. 2 for Meldrum already. Goodness me, under 10 laps. That is something he needs to work on. That's always something he needs to work on. And 3 seconds for Traps, Bruiser, and Card and Elf. But anyway, having a look here at a team battle, and this is for good points here. 4th and 5th. Traps is going to knock Matt out or the other way. Indeed, it is a very scary battle, but Traps now is dropping back thanks to that recent damage on his end plate. Well, on his front ring, sorry, there. He's lost more of that, and so can't really go anywhere with that as Meldrum and Quincy's made a mistake through Aintree, and now Carbon Fiber has gone flying here as there's a Red Bull now had a moment going at Brooklands. Bracy now going side by side with the Red Bull. And are they going to take it all the way over to Cops Corner? Let's have a look. They're going side by side here through Cops Corner. And it's the Red Bull who comes out behind of the Williams. And now the Haas teammates are alongside one another. This is some exciting battling already, but look at this! The leaders have now caught up and we have a top 3 battle, but there might be a more immediate battle under DRS. This is exciting stuff already. A Race Chase is making his way past his teammate in the background there, but no such look for P1H9 going into Stowe. This is incredible as Decker's already into the pit lane, but I Have No Grip has caught back up. He is getting ready to potentially retake where he started. Of course, he qualified pole, didn't keep it there. Decker's with the blistering start at the Grand Prix, or at the beginning of this Grand Prix, I should say. And here we go already. We're nearly at a 5th of this Grand Prix, and there has been action to talk about up and down the field. Great start here for the Season 3 of the Sunday Nights as Elfeniel gets a 3-second penalty for track limit violations. I do believe, the Australian driver not having a good time at the moment, down in 17th out of the points as Bruiser has had a moment. Oh, goodness me, Elfeniel now trying to overtake Mr. Traps. He went all the way on the gravel. I didn't know he played rallycross for a living. Oh, and Mr. Traps there with bad damage on his front wing is now having contact as Cardelf was retired. Where is he retired? That's what I want to know. Has he retired on... No, he's right there on track. You can see it. He's at Vale. He's retired at Vale. Did something happen? No safety car deployed. So we continue on for the time being, but controversy already as Mr. Traps and Elthaniel, and there's no front wing for Mr. Traps. Does he know this? Does he know this at all? And Elthaniel's just got to be a little careful on how he deals with this Ferrari. And oh, he's not careful at all. He's lost it going through Loftfield. And, well, we'll have that gap will reset. But at the moment, Mr. Traps with no front wing at all is going to keep that position for the time being. The two-stop Deckers has chosen to do might hurt him with how long the pit stop takes. Exactly, that was what I said earlier on as well. It is a 36 miles per hour or 32 miles per hour pit lane speed limit here in Silverstone. Of course, it's one of its very unique in that regard. So you don't really want to spend any more time than you have to in there, to be honest. So I think Deckers has kind of cornered himself in that regard. And what has he gone out onto, actually, just to kind of have a look? Medium tyres for the Red Bull driver, so he's going to start bringing down that gap. We'll keep an eye, but finally, P1H9, it's going to do battle with his teammate Jamsey here into Brooklands, and Jamsey forced to take the wider line, and that is P1H9 through into third position for now. Of course, that will, of course, change once the pit stops has gone through, and Mr. Traps finally needs to make his first pit stop. He'll need to repair that front wing as well, get that all replaced, and then they will continue racing. And at the moment, well, it's going to be a bit of a compromise race for him so far. Going back here as all the Williams of Bracey is going very wide through here. Of course, Bracey, one of my ones to look out for over this season, but at the moment is just kind of on the outskirts of the top 5, 8th position, but just under 2 seconds to the cars in front. But Gavboy, of course, a returning driver, is at the moment trying to set the field alight. Currently 9th place here after qualifying in 8th. So this is technically for 8th place. He wants to get this back through Stowe. Enough room there for a Red Bull sized car, but nowhere to go with it, as he'll have to just reset and try again somewhere else. Of course, the next DRS zone is on the exit of Aintree down the Wellington Straight. So can Gavboy just keep close enough to Bracey, who I'm very surprised has been struggling with the pace of this Williams, to be honest with you, as now we go through lap 11 out of 52, fifth, well, I would say maybe just over a fifth of the Grand Prix gone at the moment. And well, we're going to look forward to more of this action, because we have been absolutely spoiled, as Jack is saying, Traps, get back in there. Jack is really supporting Traps here. There's no real nuance there, as there's a swap between Bruiser and Josh in the background, but we're keeping an eye on this battle for the time being. And Mr. Traps there, 17 seconds to Josh speaking off, and I'm actually surprised by Josh's lack of pace, to be honest. He's all the way down in 18th, full time for the Alpine. At the moment, he does not get any scoring of points, as Elthaniel also into the pit lane. So let's just see. He's just come off, I think it was a set of mediums for him, so he's onto a set of softs, so he's cornered himself into the 2-stop as well. Quincy and Jamaican Cham have gone longer on those softs, and I'm very surprised, and that's why, of course, Quincy and Meldrum were battling earlier on. But now Quincy's going to be under pressure from Hash at any moment. In fact, there he is, just coming up to the front of your frame now. Does Quincy get the exit that he needs? As Traps goes past Elthaniel on his pit stop, so that's him up into 18th already for the Traps fans that are in here. So that'll be good news for him. But here we go, as that is Jamsey into the pit lane. So that means we need to bring out our tyre graphic again and see where he's going to come out, what tyres he comes out onto. And at the moment, I'm trying to see as well, as I think we're about to have a battle between Gavboy and Meldrum. We most certainly are. And here we go, Gavboy and Meldrum side by side through Abbey Corner. And, well, Gavboy did just have to release the throttle there for a brief few moments, as Meldrum caught all the way up to the Red Bull. I don't know, where has that pace come from? Goodness me, or was there just a bit of a mistake there from Gavboy? I'm not too sure, because Bracey's still close, so I don't know, that something must have happened, but at the same time, I don't think anything has, because I don't quite see the logic as to how that would have worked there with the gaps. But anyway, let's go Traps, saying Captain Spoon. So a lot of love here for Traps in the chat here for tonight, but we are currently focusing away from Traps at the moment. But just an update for those that are in there, currently up to 18th. It is nearly 11 seconds to the car of Josh in front, who has just come in for his pit stop. And at the moment, we are seeing here the tyre graphic on the left-hand side as we are approaching the first round of pit stops. One thing which will be curious to keep an eye on is how long the hards could go on for. That's something we could keep an eye on. As I have no grip, still behind Dan Bliss at this current moment in time, being unable to take the lead of the Grand Prix. But let's give these two some attention, as neither one are going into the pits on lap 12. Maybe this will be for lap 13. Unlucky 13 for some, but amazing for others. Let's see, as Josh, obviously we've already said, into the pits, about to be lapped by these two already. So Josh is the first car to be lapped. Eltheniel's not too far down the road either at this early stage of the race. We're not even halfway, just might I add. And we'll see we'll see if Eltheniel can just stay ahead, but obviously how long that will be. It's not a case of if, it's a case of when, as Deckers takes the fastest lap of the race. Of course, he was one of the first to pit there, and he's already behind Quincy in that regard. Does I have no grip? I have no grip, not close enough to take the lead at this current moment in time. Already over half a second as they went onto the Wellington Straight. So this battle is much closer, and Deckers, really, this should be academic for him. Carving his way through the field, should be within pit stop distance of the two, well, of the leading pair of Den Bliss and I have no grip. Unable to get past Quincy at the first port of call. So what about the next one? Can he get something done through here? Pushing the Ferrari through the corner. Of course, Quincy won't be scoring any points due to the fact that he got a late call from work that he wasn't needed. And so now he is just racing for fun and for data gathering more than anything. But Deckers, with the superior straight line advantage in that Red Bull, gets past Quincy without much of a flinch. And there was a bit of a swap in the background, as well as Matt Tudor into the pits, and that's James up into 14th place. But of course, remember, he's a reserve. He will not be scoring any points for his team or himself tonight in the Drivers' Championship. As we look at that, Jamaican Jam also being caught by Meldrum there. Meldrum, of course, with a 6-second post-race penalty for track limit violations. Of course, you can appeal that to the stewards if you feel it was unfairly due for one reason or another. But otherwise, he will have to serve those post-race. And it's just a bit early on. Meldrum, of course, I've always said, has had to work on his track limit violations. And now Deckers is probably going to make the pain even worse for the Mercedes driver. Of course, Meldrum, good friends with Dan Lovett. Is Ron Gigatron lover... Is Ron Gigatron lover Dan Lovett? Can someone confirm that for me? As Deckers, yes, he's slowly getting back up, says Jackus in the chat there, as James said, with another 3-second... No, with his first 3-second penalty. Sorry, force of habit there. Of course, I'm just so used to looking at Meldrum at the moment. So at the moment, there's James also on to his first 3 seconds. And I'm just trying to see where else there is closer battles here, as Meldrum there getting that all sorts of wrong going into Brooklands. This might give the Red Bull the advantage it needs, and indeed it does through Lovefield. The Mercedes messing up the second part of the Snake section, and now through Woodcote. And look at the run Deckers has got, surely now. Oh, goodness me, 3 wide, and there's one off the track onto the grass. No room at the end there for you, Meldrum. That was a bit, I don't know, that was a bit optimistic there from the Mercedes driver, as now Matt Tudor and James, obviously thanks to James's pit stop, where he earned a 10-second penalty from that as well, so we'll have to serve that in his eventual next pit stop. But here we go again, the leading battle is right up close to one another, but also there is just plenty of battles just happening up and down the field. It's hard to know where to look at any one time, and that is just a compliment to the racing itself. I can promise you we're not looking at... No, sorry, we're looking at Ron Gigatron Lover, which I think is Dan Lovett. So, yes, it's him, says Jackers there. So there was a name change last minute there, as Jamaican Jam now into the pit lane. Josh gets his first 3-second penalty. Kick Salva, by the way, has gone off, and that is James there going off and rejoining a little unsafely, if you ask me, as they'll Hash. And no, sorry, that's not Hash. That is Dan Lovett, or also known as Ron Gigatron Lover, and Race Chase in battle. As Race Chase makes a mistake coming out of the loop. And now through entry here, has to rejoin, but now Deckers will be right on his tail once he gets there. Of course, he won't have DRS, as he was over a second at the detection point, and then Quincy and Meldrum are going to redo battle, and that's Quincy through into 7th place for now. But those soft tyres, how has he got those onto lap 15? Here's the only driver to be doing this so far, and this is a monumental effort, as now Deckers does eventually get past Race Chase there for 15th. That was rather academic. Fresher tyres for the Red Bull, of course, already made his stop, but of course he'll be, well, as I keep saying, of course, like a broken record, he will be having to remember that he's got to make a second stop. So, we'll see how that goes along, but Deckers really carving his way through the field. Clearly has pace here in Silverstone. His home race, that is for sure. But of course, that is the same for many of the drivers at this current moment in time. We'll see how that all goes. But at the moment, I have no grip. Is still looking at the back of Dan Bliss. He might be getting a little frustrated here as they are now going to lap the McLaren of Elthaniel as James gets another 10-second penalty for track limit for speeding in the pit lane. So after getting his first one, he gets another one there. Of course, the pit lane, as we've already said, is slower than usual. Quincy also in for his first stop on lap 16. So he took those, I think it was about 15 laps, those softs. So that's an impressive stint from the Ferrari driver for just this round. But ultimately, he is going to be forced into a 2-stop as well. Let's see how that goes for him. It would be, if he was to complete this, it would be 37 laps on a 1 set of tyres. So is no, he's into the medium, so he's definitely going for the 2-stop. Race Chase, though, I think is going to try and brave the 1-stop. He is currently going on to hard tyres, fresh hard tyres, as there's been a moment with... No, that is just lap traffic for Elthaniel, and just a few position swaps there. So that's Jamaican Jam going past Race Chase and Quincy on the undercut, but how effective is that going to be? And I think we've had most of the pit stops completed, so everybody, I think, has just about made a stop. But then again, yeah, no, it's just at the moment as Cardelf has left the session, and he was, of course, the first non-finisher of this race. So yeah, no, it's Meldrum, Hash, Ron Gigatron, Lover, and everybody. Well, so apart from Meldrum and Hash, the entire top 4 yet to make their stop. But here's I Have No Grip again, trying to get onto the back of the leader. But I think he is just kind of analysing where Den Bliss is weaker than him. I don't think he's actually trying to overtake him. He's just keeping close to see if he can just force the Kick Sauber into a mistake. Of course, Kick Sauber, one of the worst cars to be driving on any kind of performance, whether that's equal or realistic. He is just going to be probing, just seeing where he is, as James has now retired on track. James has crashed it, and that has brought out a VSC. 10-second penalty for Meldrum for speeding in the pit lane. And at the moment now, Meldrum with an additional 10 seconds to serve at his pit. So at 3 weeks gone, start of the race hit and 7th lap got smacked. Games being stingy, no full SC. Exactly, I was just thinking that as well. This is rather stingy. This would have been a great place for a full safety car. But for Deckers now, he's kind of caught in them. I think he's actually going to be happy about this. As, oh my goodness me, there's a spinner. There's someone spun. Ron Gigatron has spun round. And it looks like that was self-inflicted. DRS enabled at the worst possible point for Dan, which I'm now going to have to get used to that as Gavboy now gets past Meldrum at the VSC restart. And was he behind or ahead at the DRS detection point, which is that green dot just at Village? Let's see. The rear wing will open for the Mercedes driver. So Meldrum is going to be right back on the attack. Let's see what the Mercedes could do. Going into Brooklands, nothing at all as he gets back underway. And I Have No Grip is also just not able to do anything for the lead. But let's keep focused to the battle for 8th so far, as at the moment going through the old start finish straight now. But look at Meldrum, gets a better run out of Brooklands. He is using a bit of his battery as they approach Cops, but not close enough to have a go through there. As now, yeah, no, better exit again from the Mercedes. That Gavboy seems to be struggling with understeer at the high-speed sections, but also the Mercedes has soft tyres bolted on. But 19 seconds in penalties at the moment for the Mercedes as well. DRS will open for the Mercedes, and there you go. That is round the outside on the straight. That was easy as you like. As now, Ron Gigatron Lover into the pits. As now, Hash gets up into position 5. And now, we'll see how that works out for him so far. Let's see where he comes out. Keeping an eye on that Mercedes driver as he pits from the mediums. And is he going to be able to do the 1-stop from there on the hards? I don't think he will. Keeping an eye on the graphic though, but again, I Have No Grip, just getting agonizingly close. But you know how I was talking about the hard tyre early on. Well, look at P1H9. He is getting oh so close to this, and it'll give something I Have No Grip to think about. Update in the pit stop for Ron Gigatron Lover. Another set of mediums, so he's going into a 2-stop as well. But battling between Race Chase and Quincy for what is 11th place. Quincy through again on those fresher tyres, so Quincy, the better of the two so far. We had games being stingy. I've already read that. Here we go. But look at this pack. We have a pack battling for what is 7th place, beg your pardon. Of course, Meldrum is kind of the odd one out due to having so many penalties under his name. And of course, it is a sight we are used to seeing. That's kind of like no big news. Have you got anything new? to say, as Bracey there going very wide, and that's Jamaican Jam losing a place to Quincy there. Sorry for the mess around there with the camera direction. That's him up to 10th place, so Quincy making use of these fresh tyres as he's carving his way through this pack. Goodness me. And the Ferrari doing a very good job here, and there you go, he's going to carve through another one, and he's got through on what will be his team from round 2. And Quincy there going through Stowe corner, of course, scoring no points due to the fact he is not in his full-time seat. Well, this has been selected rather carefully. And, well, no points there. But also, look at this. The top 3 are now in the leading battle as Quincy takes the fastest lap of the race. But we might need to cut away to see another overtake coming through for what will be 9th to 8th place in a few moments' time. I'm just getting ready on that button. They are just going through the loop as we speak, so they're going to be at Aintree in a few moments time, but I'm just seeing if there was going to be any movement there, but it doesn't look like there's going to be, so we go back to what is the battle on track, which is some of the closest. Look at that line of cars, but Quincy nowhere to go at all, so we'll cut back to the battle for the lead, as now everybody has DRS. There's lap traffic in front. That is Mr. Traps there, probably a bit of a demoralizing point. He went onto the gravel there as he went through Stowe. So no changes there for the time being. P1H9 just deciding to keep himself at arm's length at 0.8 of a second. And he will just kind of wait and see if these two make a mistake. But now we do have to look back at this because Mr. Traps has just got himself a 3-second penalty for track limit violations. That's his total up to 6 seconds. Already 2/5 into this Grand Prix. 6 laps away from the halfway point. And Quincy gets a great run out of Chapel. Well, that was started at Beckett's 3 if you're technical. And there's Red Bull and Ferrari going side by side into Stowe, who comes out as Deckers is disconnected. Deckers has had a disconnect. Oh, no. Deckers, what's happened here? Deckers has disconnected. Oh no, and he was having such a good stint. What unfortunate news for the Red Bull driver who was really impressing. And now it's all gone wrong for the Red Bull driver. Deckers here is having an awful round all of a sudden, as now it's all, there's a bit of a glitch there with the tower as Jamsey goes side by side with Hash, and that is him through into 5th place. But at the moment we need to kind of focus back on the top 3 because there could be changes up and coming. Remember, P1H9 has the hard tyres. They'll be better than the mediums at this point of the race. But there's the Racing Bulls catching. The Alpine just doesn't have enough straight line speed to get alongside Dan Bliss. He's doing a fantastic job as the Kick Sauber of just keeping these two behind us. Now that's Bruiser was going, not disconnected, but he is just being lapped, so the cars are ghosted at this current moment in time. But here we go again. We're going to start seeing some top 3 battling between these two as Mr. Traps gets a 10-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Was just kind of trying to get a single, maybe 1 or 2 points for the team here, but at the moment, Quincy is the one bringing all the smiles, but of course, he scores no points due to his circumstances. But look at this, Bracey and Race Chase trying to do battle going into Stowe, but nowhere to go, as Mr. Traps has retired from the race there in the pit lane, as Quincy and Melcher begin to swap the positions yet again, and Quincy is through this time, so he's worked his way through the pack, and is now going to start chasing after the top 6 of Hash, Jamsey, Deckers, and of course you all know the rest. Caution in Sector 1 though for the retired Ferrari, as well, goodness me, of course, Jamsey going past Deckers, but Deckers currently disconnected as Mr. Trap says F. Couldn't go any more worse for me this race, says James. Indeedy. As Deckers now is really starting to struggle. His AI, of course, will be somewhat, what's the word here, bopped, for lack of a better word. So at the moment he is not going to be going at his full pace, but Deckers is losing time. Of course, he has 25 seconds, but he needs to rejoin ASAP. DRS open for I Have No Grip and PH, but no swaps yet again. So we'll cut back to this battle for what is 10th place here with Jamaican Jam holding up both races. But wait a minute, we go to the lead battle yet again as I Have No Grip has come into the pit lane. And so now, surely P1H9 has to think about pitting. We're 4 laps away from the halfway point of this British Grand Prix, which has been a rather entertaining spectacle so far. I'm Decker's brother, and he says everyone else disconnected for him. He's still in the race. Oh, goodness me. Well, that is not the case for us. You might want to just show him some footage of the stream and just show him what I'm seeing here. On my screen, it said everyone else left. Unfortunately, we're still racing, my guy. As I Have No Grip comes out in 5th place. Oh, goodness me. Decker's in all sorts of trouble. He is restarting, so his brother is going to give us some status updates here in the chat, but Decker's disconnected. I wasn't actually aware of it. That is some unfortunate luck. Meant to be one, so I have to reset my game. Oh, no. Decker's here in a really unfortunate situation. He didn't realize till it was too late, and now really does need a safety car to try and bring him back into this battle. This is rather unfortunate as Decker's, there we go, going oh so slowly through that is Luffield there, the second part of the snake. As now PH19 trying to go side by side with Dan Bliss for the swap for the lead, but no dice there for the time being. So let's go back to I Have No Grip, who is catching Hash at a rate of knots. Hash yet to pit as well. Dan Bliss now into the pits to try and cover off the pace of I Have No Grip on those fresh tyres that he has put on. Let's just remind ourselves, hard tyres as Meldrum gets a 3-second penalty for track limit violations. Caution in sector 3. There's been an incident up ahead, and well, then it was just in time for I Have No Grip to get the position. But what's happened? Is that Josh there? It is indeed. So where one teammate has elation of an overtake, the other has the de-escalation of a spin. And well, let's have a look at where Den Bliss is. He'll be, well, we'll see. I Have No Grip on the right-hand side, and there we go. And Den Bliss loses that position to I Have No Grip. I Have No Grip going for the undercut, and it works out for the Alpine. And he is ahead of Den Bliss at last. So technically that is the lead, but does P1H9 try and cover this off, or will Jamsey be a doorstop to his teammate, because the Racing Bull's currently 1 and 2. G-Dave, can I get an invite if you have me? I'm afraid I don't have you at this current moment in time. I'll have a quick look when I can. We have a caution in Sector 1 for what is a slow-moving Alpine on the grass. Oh, he's letting lap traffic through as he's lost his front wing. His entire front wing has been shredded off as Matt Tudor is now up into 13th after Meldrum's pit stop. So anyway, keep and look at that. Let's just make sure we can... Let's see. I don't think I have you at all. I'm so sorry to cut away from the action at this current moment in time, but I do not see... Yeah, no, I don't have you. Oh, wait, yes, I do. There you go. Sorry about that. My bad. But anyway, we didn't lose too much there in terms of action. As now Quincy and Hash going side by side. Quincy up into 5th place there. And that is him all sorted out, as now Den Bliss is still on the back as Deckers has joined back in, but down in 12th place. Sorry about that. Hopefully he can work his way back up, but really needs a safety car at this current moment in time. So Deckers back with us. But we've just seen, obviously, I Have No Grip swap with Den Bliss under pit stop situations. And, well, let's have a look, as Dan Lovett, now known as Ron Gigatron Lover, I think that is how it's meant to be said, because the L has been placed at the end of the name, as Josh gets a 10-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Another retirement in the pits, so no intervention from race control required. Do have to remind the drivers, you do get points from 15th place, just in case you want to know the allocation, as Decker's saying thank you in all caps. Let's just see. Hang on a moment. I just want to check the points allocations here. I do have them in a DM. There we go. I'll get that for you in just a second. So at the moment, of course, from 15th all the way up to what is 6th place, you do get from it's 1 to 10 points. Then from P5 to P1, it's 12 points, 15 points, 18 points, 20 points, and then 25 points. So at the moment, P1H9 has got the full 25 points, but no points for fastest laps as per the rules of 2025 real life Formula 1, as Eltheniel is only 1 place away from scoring points from the McLaren. Matt Tudor having his own decent race, as Deckers now is going to start reducing that 9.3 second gap to the pack we're actually looking at here, as there's Race Chase trying to have a go at Bracy yet again, but no where to go. Season 2 champion as well. Probably didn't want to be battling with these guys either. But Gavboy just holding his own at the moment. Up 1 place from his qualifying position. Quincy also up 14 places. So this has been a good drive from him. This might be a sign of things to come when he's in the Williams. So a bit of a confidence boost here for Quincy more than anything. But he's catching up to the battle for what is the lead of this race. But P1H9 and Jamsey yet to make their stops so far. And at the moment, speaking of, this could be very, very important times for P1H9's Grand Prix. Because at the moment, he is the debutant who is trying to set an impression. I thought Jamsey was going to have the better of his teammate, but that has not proven to be the case at all. Both are on hard tyres, only a difference of 11 laps, of course. Jamsey's already made his pit stop. Sorry about that, because I did initially say that he did make his pit stop, but that is not true. I do apologise. And, well, look at Quincy as well, as Josh has now left the session. Obviously, well, most recent retiree in the pit lane, so no intervention required from virtual race control. We got there eventually, but here we go. Jamsey now really does need to defend for his teammates. Defend like a lion is probably the instruction, but he's not going to defend all that much. Just now, there we go. Goodness me, Jamsey left it late to come across, but I think he didn't want to compromise that inside line. I think he knew he just about had enough to cover off, but now he is going to have to cover off the inside as they go through Vale, and they'll be approaching Club Corner in a moment. This is only helping P1H9. So Jamsey sacrificing his race for his teammate. And this is great stuff from the teammate here. This is really reminiscent. Deckers is fuming. Oh, goodness me. It's much different. Just do loads of laps and gets used to it. I'm playing on real from next week. I hate controller. Yeah, just get some laps in and just, yeah, no, well, follow the advice in chat. I don't need to reiterate anything, but yeah, no, what chat says I agree with, but here we go. Jamsey now has to hold off the charge of a Kick Sauber and an Alpine. Both are quick in their own little way as Templist out already trying to get one car out the way. Just be careful, though. You'll have to keep an eye out. Quincy at the back there. Very quick in that Ferrari, that is for certain. But at the moment, even if P1H9 pits, they are still within that pit window. We are halfway through this very entertaining British Grand Prix, by the way. And this has been proving to be excellent. There's Templist, who's found a gap. No grip, had no grip through Cops. And that is Templist through to third. Can he make a way past the Racing Bulls here? He has got 11 laps fresher tyres. Oh, Jamsey with a bit of a mistake there. That's going to hold up probably Templist that little bit. DRS opening, but the Racing Bulls sticks to the middle of the track. Templist swaps to the inside. No dice there as they go into Stowe. But at the moment, Templist, I'm getting my D's mixed up with one another, is at the moment, this is Templist, by the way, in the Kick Sauber. And at the moment, Templist is just struggling to even find a way through. So he's facing the same problems as I Have No Grip. And now I Have No Grip has got a very big problem on his rearview mirror. Quincy has caught up to all of this. Starting from the back of the field. Templist out to the inside through Village. Can Jamsey hold on to this position? And he's going to remain side by side there. He rides the curb. Templist just gives him enough room, as does Jamsey in return. But who is in front? A bit of contact between the two. And there we go. The Racing Bulls is going to not have DRS, but he's still there on straight line speed. This is stubborn defense from the Racing Bulls, but the Kick Sauber does get the position, and that surely is the fight for Jamsey's all said and done. And now the Alpine surely must get a better exit here, and will be through the Racing Bulls in just a few moments' time. How much battery is left for Jamsey, though? Nothing at all there. Oh, goodness me, a loss of grip with that dirty air in front as well. He's going to have to get used to that, as well as having absolutely nothing in tow. But can Jamsey maybe hang on and try and go back through on Templist at the next possible point? I don't think so there. Losing a lot of time. He'll have DRS, but goodness me, I had to cut away there for a few moments because Gavboy there was overtaken by Hash going through Maggots and Beckett, and Southenium gets a 3-second penalty for track limit violations. By the way, update on that battle with I Have No Grip and Jamsey. No grip with no way through, as Jamaican Jam now is going to go side by side with the Red Bull going into, and Quincy is also disconnected. Oh, goodness me, what is going on with people's internets tonight, causing all sorts of drama? I wonder if I'm going to have to see it, but there's Dan getting into the mix there, going into Vale. This is absolutely exciting stuff. As Ron Gigatron Lover and Race Chase just swerving left and right. He wasn't happy with something there. That was a bit of a dive there going into Vale from Ron. I'm just going to call him Ron for just the short sake of it. As I think, yeah, Deckers with a recent pit stop. So yeah, that disconnect forced him into the 2-stop. Quincy has joined back in. Not bad for a low budget. So if I want brand new for £20, said Mr. Traps, Hori Overdrive. I have never heard of that. I have never heard of that at all. I don't know if anyone can give me some background on that. Good start, and I now have the G29. It's a good wheel. Hang on a minute. We'll talk about wheels in just a second because Race Chase and Ron are having a bit of a battle with one another. Race Chase has just got through on the Mercedes. He's in 10th place. As now we have more battling going on up ahead. Quincy has just left this battle behind. He rejoined oh so quickly, so he didn't lose that much time. As now Race Chase has even got past Bracy. So Bracy's struggling with something. As now Ron Gigatron Lover taking his chances, going through back and back hits. By the way, Jamsey and I Have No Grip are currently in a swap for positions. That's going through. There we go. I think that position is all but sorted. That's going through. Vale into Club Corner. Can Jamsey hang on to this position? I Have No Grip on the edge of the car there. They're going to continue going side by side through Abbey, through Farm, but there we go. I Have No Grip sadly just took the wrong line through Abbey and through Farm. He just did not have anywhere to go with it as he went onto the grass. As Ron Gigatron Lover now into the pits after 11 laps on medium tyres. So he's obviously on the 2-stop as well. So the next round of pit stops coming in rather thick and fast. But let's go back to this for just a moment because No Grip is about to make a move for 3rd place here. And Jamsey's squeezing him all the way to the inside, but no way through at the initial entry. But now Jamsey trying to hold on at the exit. And no dice there, just the better grip of the Alpine's fresher tyres just beat out the Racing Bulls there, and No Grip now up into 3rd place, but 4.5 seconds back as now more battling going on here for 8th place. Race Chase round the outside of Gavboy. Can he get the move done? Yes, he can. He's just about done it, but Gavboy's fighting back, and now we might see side-by-side battling through Cops, but no. Gavboy slots out of that battle, and we'll just have to reset for the time being as El Thanium gets another 3-second penalty for track limit violations. That's his total up to 9 seconds now, but this is exciting stuff so far. Mr. Chap's even saying about the G29, didn't want to spend £150. Well, try spending £750 on a direct drive wheel from Fanatec and then adding on to that as the time went on. That's something I've certainly done. As how Jamaican Jam right up onto the back of Hash. And at the moment here, as Quincy has actually fought back that gap, it was at 5 seconds, as now Gavboy into the pit lane for his final stop after 60 laps on medium tyres. We are definitely getting the next round of stops here. As now, did Jamaican Jam there just go through on Hash? Yes, he did. And then Hash actually gives him a bit of a nudge saying, wasn't very happy with that. So I don't quite know what happened, but either way, Jamaican Jam and Hash swap positions yet again. And at the moment now, we're going to see more battling potentially between what is now 4 drivers. But of course, they'll have to worry about pit stops around them. Race Chase should really have the better of the tyres at the moment. I don't think he could go long on them, although he will be able to go very, very far into this race. It'll be a 36-lap stint if he plans to do the 1-stop at this point in time, which I don't think he's going to nail as P1H9. Well, we're still waiting for a pit stop from, to be honest with you, and he's going to be pitting when everybody behind him does. At a 15-second gap, you don't have to worry about that. P1H9 has played this beautifully so far. Was just patient in that first stint to get those hards into their working order, and has now got a magnificent gap, and, well, everybody around him needs to pit again. P1H9, the only driver at the moment not to stop. Well, I say that, and then Hash hasn't stopped either. So Hash also going long, but he's waiting for everybody else to pit as well. But Hash there, I thought had some end plate damage, but evidently not. So I think really advantage P1H9 as now his teammate Jamsey is going into the pits as now we see Jamaican Jam, the Season 2 champion of the Sunday season. He is the one trying to hold on to his crown, going side by side with Hash, who goes into the pit lane. So that might be a cue for P1H9 to make his way in if he is watching a stream. But anyway, at the moment, that is our Jamaican Jam up into 5th place. And, well, both Hasses are now just kind of looking at one another, thinking, what do we do now? We didn't react to the undercut of Gavboy. Let's keep an eye on him, actually, as we are now going to see Jamsey there wouldn't be really involved in that, but everybody else is. So Gavboy trying to undercut, and the undercut has been very effective around here. So there we go. Here we go on the right-hand side of your screen. Well, now becomes the left-hand side, and there we go. Gavboy gets past all of them, and he is up into 9th place. But of course, Race Chase and Jamaican Jam still needing to make their stop. Jamsey is not involved in that battle, so Jamsey is just hoping for Jamaican Jam and Race Chase to make their pit stops before he catches up, but we'll see how that goes before the end of this race. Dan Bliss has got that gap. Oh my goodness me! Race Chase has had a... No, that was Jamaican Jam having a spin. Race Chase had to avoid making contact there, but that was through Cop's corner. That could have ended so badly. But the Season 2 champion having a rare moment of uncomposed driving has lost it, and has now probably lost the positions behind him as well, especially to Gavboy. So Gavboy with more free real estate, and that might be everything to Race Chase. Is he going to be given priority, Race Chase? No. So surely Jamaican Jam needs to pit after that, and he does, because he can't gain any more time. He's just going to be in a forever losing situation if he continued on. And, there's just a bit of a talk about what's getting people into Formula 1, and it was family for Captain Spoons. And, yeah, no, it was the same for me. It was actually my dad, to be more specific, that got me into Formula 1, and I've just kind of continued that on ever since. I've been lucky to do this as well. But anyway, at the moment, Decker's now up into 7th place after that pit stop from Jamaican Jam, but Decker's with a penalty for track limit violations as well to serve, so it's rather been what was starting out as great. He was your initial leader. It's now kind of turning into an evening to forget, so he's just in damage control limit situations right now, and we'll see what happens. But Bracy now is also about to do battle with Hash potentially, but Hash and Bracy are both sharing the same amount of tires. They're both on one lap, but the compounds are different. So Hash should initially have the advantage, but Bracy will probably have that towards the end of the race. We have seen the final few pit stops. Oh my goodness me, there was a spin there for Eltheniel in the background. Eltheniel not having a good evening as things stand. He won't even be scoring points as things are going right now. And Matt Tudor has now just, I think, gone and slowed down for lap traffic. That has allowed P1H9 through. So Eltheniel, is he down by a couple of laps? I think he is, because he's got a minute and a half to the gap in front of him. So everybody has lapped him. And he has. Yeah, no, so Eltheniel's been lapped up and down the field. Even Bruiser has lapped him. So Eltheniel now down by 2 laps. Goodness me, Eltheniel got a lot of work to do on his pace before the end of this season. But Dan Bliss still bringing down that gap, and P1H9 is leaving it till the very last moments to make that pit stop. That's all I can say for free. As Eltheniel gets another 3-second penalty for track limit violations there. I did kind of say towards the beginning of this season that they weren't the fastest, the McLarens. They didn't have the best of drivers, and sadly that has just been proven true tonight. Unfortunately, I say not the best of drivers, but Matt Tudor's having a good drive. He's going to get 2 points for his team. But now we're looking at Season 2 champion Jamaican Jam after that spin through Cop's corner before his pit stop. He is now looking at the back of Meldrum, and he's going to try and get this move done. He's in damage control. Leader into the pits, by the way, P1H9, as Jamaican Jam goes down the inside of Meldrum. Can this remain fair and square? Meldrum trying to defend from the attacking Haas, but surely it's only a matter of time. 9-lap fresher tyres. That is advantage Haas there, but of course we'll keep an eye on where P1H9 comes out. Quincy also into the pit lane for his final pit stop. Where can he finish? But it's I Have No Grip and Dan Bliss 4.3 seconds apart, but advantage P1H9 is Gavboy with a 3-second penalty for track limit violation, so he's got to serve that post-race. But this one battle is taking our attention at the moment, and it is for what is 1, 2, well, I'll see, we'll update that in a second as Meldrum goes off there at Chapel. And Race Chase benefits from Quincy's pit stop, but that will only be momentarily, as Race Chase will surely have to stop again, as does Jamsey. But Quincy is also in a genuine fight with Jamsey, as, yeah, Deckers is... Oh, goodness me, how far back is he? 13 seconds in it? I Have No Grip with a 3-second penalty for track limit violation, so that makes P1H9's life a bit easier, as now he's on the fresher medium tyres towards the end of this race, so that's going to be 19 laps on those. And yeah, no, he's tyre advantage P1H9 easily and 12 seconds to make up with 19 laps to go. It can be done, as there's been a moment here. Eltheniel has gone off the track at Club Corner, and I think he's going to be starting lap 30. He's starting lap 33, I think, because that was lap 32 for him for just a few moments. But yeah, no, I think these two have got to worry about the fast approaching P1H9. 12 seconds this lap, but of course, he's just getting a simulation game with Dave. We meet again. My dominant track. Hello, you. Welcome to the stream. As Eltheniel has retired on track, and he will take no further part in this Grand Prix. He's not brought out a safety car. He's kind of parked it off the track, so no need for virtual race control to intervene, and we continue on, now looking at a battle for 9th place between Bracy and Hash. Bracy to the inside at Stowe, but Hash trying to fight that back as long as he can dare. Both are on the same lap, well, both are on the same life of tyres as Jamsey and Race Chase swap, but that is because Race Chase is into the pit lane for his final stop. Hard tyres to the end. That's going to be an 18-lap stint on those. Gavboy will benefit from that position now. Gavboy up into 7th, but needs to hope that the people behind start getting penalties as well. We'll see how that occurs, but at the moment it is Hash going to be taking away that position from the Red Bull towards the end of this race, and Deck as well is just in damage control, as we've already said, disconnecting earlier on in the race. And Jamaican Jam, of course, also in damage control and just behind his teammate as well. I'm sure Race Chase is going to be loving that, but of course Jamaican Jam. Oh, and there's a spin there for Bruiser, who of course will be scoring points for his team, guaranteed now. And now Jamaican Jam also gets past the Haas teammate of Race Chase, the American driver, now down to 12th place. But now we also look at battles happening up and down the field. Jamsey is vulnerable to Quincy here. Quincy with the fresher tyres by only 3 laps, but though, like I keep saying, those medium tyres will wear away before the end of this. And you know what? P1H9 isn't really catching, you can see, as now Quincy is going to go down the inside at Stowe. Does Jamsey have anything to fight that back with? Well, no. He's also missing a front wing end plate. He's lost that at some point on the right-hand side. And that is Quincy through, rather academically so. And that is now a 20-second gap to P1H9. I don't think he's really going to catch that back up. And P1H9 isn't setting the timings alight here either. He's already at 11 seconds, and he's had 2 laps on those tyres so far. So maybe the pace will come to him as the Grand Prix folds to its conclusion, but at the moment there are still many battles happening up and down the field, which are rather entertaining in their own right. Of course, we've just seen Quincy get past Jamsey for 4th place, but we're also about to see a battle for 7th place now. Gavboy is a bit of an outlier here because, remember, Decker's begging for a safety car as well. Jack has given updates about his brother. G-Dave, please don't move to the States. Gonna miss you. Oh, that's so nice of you, chaps. But unfortunately, it is for rather important things. I'll talk about that at a later date, of course, when that is closer to the point. But right now, let's focus on some fantastic racing here, happening from what is P7 down to P10 with Ron, well, Dan, also known as Ron Gigatron Lover. I'm gonna quiz him about that name change, because that really confused me. I was like, is that a reserve at the beginning of this? And now the Red Bull going very wide at Cop's Corner here, and now Hash is going to be given a run through to Maggots and Beckett's, but nowhere to go with it. The track very narrow at that part of the circuit very narrow at that part. But now coming out of Chapel, DRS zone down what is the hanger straight as Matt Tudor and Meldrum swap positions. That's 13th place. We'll assess the penalty situation on that in just a few moments time. But Hash there and was unable to swap, and Bracy was just not close enough, as now Ron Gigatron Lover is about to go side by side as well as Race Chase and Jamaican Jam swap contact between the two. Bracy Bracy and Ron making contact, going into Vale through Club Corner. And now we start 16 laps to go. And many things decided. P1H9 still under the 10-second gap. So the pace is starting to come up round to the Racing Bulls driver, but has got a long way to go. Just to give you an idea, that is 12 seconds to the leader. There is still a long way to go in this. No grip, though. Honestly, I think the best case scenario here is Matt Tudor and Meldrum going side by side. Let's keep an eye on this. Penalty situation stands with 5 seconds going towards Meldrum. So really, all Meldrum needs to do is stay within that 5-second window of Meldrum, beg your pardon, and that's 3 points for the McLaren and his own Drivers' Championship as Meldrum side by side with the McLaren going into Abbey, now through Farm Curve, and that is the position for the Mercedes, currently done and dusted. Does everyone have lines on, asks Jackers? That is, I think, dependent on the driver, to be honest with you. But that is a good observation there from Jackers in chat there as well. We need to cut away for just a second because we're about to see potentially another battle rage on here between Hash and Gavboy as Matt Tudor and Meldrum again swap positions. So let's acknowledge that, but also let's acknowledge the fact that there's still many battles going on here in the background. Hash wasn't close enough again going into Stowe as Jamsey gets a 3-second penalty for track limit violations. That's his first of the evening as Jamaican Jam and Race Chaser swapping again as Meldrum and Matt Tudor swap yet again. And that's an over-under at one of the most interesting... Oh my goodness me! Oh my goodness me! A crash there for Meldrum! And is that a retirement? No, it's just his front wing has snapped right off. Oh my goodness me, retaliation from Matt Tudor. Bangs Meldrum into the wall. Oh, dearie me, and I'm surprised nothing was called at that part of the track. So basically, Matt Tudor had a bit of a retaliation on the Mercedes in your frame. And that sent Meldrum right into the wall and no front wing for the Mercedes. And the Scotsman will be angry with that. I think Matt Tudor will hear the bagpipes when he gets into the paddock later on. There'll be some very angry Scotsmen surrounding him. And I think this is going to be the last we see of Meldrum. But there's also battles happening up and down the field at the moment. And there's Meldrum's teammate trying to fight for points here. Does Meldrum decide to retire? Not at this current stage in time. So evidently he feels there's enough of a reason to continue. That would be 2 points for the Mercedes team. And you know what? One of my favourites being Ron, Gigatron and Meldrum just not quite working out at this current stage in time. I'm going to keep an eye on that Discord, see if anything is said. Not at this time at the moment. General chat maybe? There's been a few talks in there. Yeah, no, absolutely nothing at the moment from anybody in the Discord. But you know what, I was just I did have a point about this leading battle that I just got distracted from. So what I was saying here, the best case scenario for P1H9 is that he's reducing the gap to Dembliss, but also Dembliss continues... Sorry, that he's reducing the gap to IF No Grip, but also No Grip reduces the gap to Dembliss. So what I think would be best case scenario is that IF No Grip gets within that range for DRS or so, and he's not too far away at the moment. Those two start battling, and then P1H9 can just take the pace advantage. So at the moment, I still think there's enough time for P1H9 to close up, but he just really needs to try and start getting things together, because he's not going to be too far away. Bahrain, which round is that? I can't remember things off the top of my head, as now we're seeing action here going into Cop's corner, and well, Hash there tried to stick it down the inside where it couldn't be done, as Bracey will take advantage of the momentum loss from trying that, and that is indeed Bracey through into 8th place. And now he's going to have DRS on the Red Bull. He got a better run there out of Chapel. The battery is being used up. DRS is open. Gavboy goes left. Then he goes right. And, well, it makes no difference at all as Bracey down the outside into Stowe. And he gets that move done as... let's see who else is losing a position. Oh, and actually Gavboy is losing more than that. He's going to lose another position. That is to Hash. And now both Mercedes teammates are going to be right there. But of course, remember, Meldrum is just unlapping himself in terms of this battle. Maybe he could help Dan out somehow. Or Dan, now known as Ron Gigatron Lover. And there you go. Yeah, soft tyres for the other Mercedes there, as you can see in your frame. At the moment, just looks a bit amusing there to have a ghosted car, as there we go, gets out the way of his teammate, as well. That was a bit of a distraction for Gavboy there. DRS opening for both the Mercedes and the Red Bull. We know what happened when these two went side by side a few years ago, but who's going to come out on top in this year? As caution in sector 1 for a slow-moving vehicle. That is, of course, Meldrum, who we were just on board with. Bruiser now into the pit lane himself, but that, more importantly, Ron Gigatron up into 9th place there, and on the same, right about the same life of tyre as Gavboy as well. But these two are in a genuine race for position, but need to be careful. Race chasers within both their 3-second windows for post-race penalties. And just kind of keeping an eye on the battle for the lead, well, P1H9 has got that gap down to 7.2 seconds to No Grip, but I Have No Grip has got that gap down by 1.5 to Den Bliss. So Den Bliss may be feeling a bit of pressure, but at the moment, these is the battle take. Oh no! Oh my goodness me! Hash there and Ron making contact. That could have ended rather badly there. I don't know what happened. Oh my goodness, what happened there? I can't believe it! More red mist going over the British home of, well, the home of British motorsport, sorry. And already things are just getting a little feistier than maybe we would have wanted. As now Deckers and Jamsy are about to do battling with the sister teams here. No team orders in this league, I promise you that. And we could be on for a very entertaining battle between these two. But now, there's been a bit of scrappiness between Ron and Hash has the DRS on the comeback. And that's one thing. If I was to make contact with the driver, that would be the one thing I'd be worried about very instantly, is the DRS on the comeback. But either way, Ron has not had to worry about it so far. But Hash, they're getting ever closer, using all of his battery as well. You can see it there. It is completely depleted as they go through cops. And Hash there just isn't quite able to keep it within track limits. That might be Mark on the radio to him to say, warning for track limits, keep it between the white lines. So they go through Maggots and Beckett's. Does Hash have the grip? No, he does not. He's actually lost out big time here. And, well, it might be Gavboy that's about to have a go at the Aston Martin, but not close enough to do so, as now Race Chase could be massively benefiting from all this. As will Jamaican Jam as well, of course, current Season 2 champion from this division. But now it is 11 laps to go. And at the moment, I Have No Grip has caught up to the back of Den Bliss, but P1H9 is very quick in pursuit. 5.7 seconds and 11 laps. Well, I think P1H9 has got the advantage between these three, don't you? Quincy currently in a race of his own in 4th place. Won't be the podium, but never mind that. It is going to be a good result regardless. As, there you go. I Have No Grip now with the DRS is... Well, this is the one thing I was worried about with P1H9 is the DRS advantage. Obviously, that will kind of even out through the corners because he'll have the better tyres, or he should do. He should do, in all honesty, because I don't think the crossover point between the hards and the mediums is going to happen with a 10-lap difference. I think the hards will wear out before P1H9's mediums, although the mediums are usually only good for 13 laps. But also the hards aren't really good for much longer either from this point out. I do think it's Advantage Racing Bulls at the moment, but of course we'll wait and see how that plays out. Let's have a look at this battle between sister teammates as Race Chase gets past Gavboy for what is 10th place, but of course that was kind of all said and done because of the fact of that 3-second penalty. But his teammate Deckers down the inside of Jamsy into Stowe, and that is 5th place there, all said and done. But look at this, the Racing Bulls fighting back, and there's no team orders, and there's a spin and contact. Oh no, the Red Bull is going to have a fallout here as Jamsy is sent spinning at Vale, and that is going to be more positions benefiting drivers around as this Jamaican Jam avoiding action, as well as now Gavboy trying to benefit from this, but Jamsy now down to 12th place. So much better. The laps went quickly indeed. 10 laps on left already. That didn't feel like an hour by. My brother went crap. So sorry. Oh, goodness me. Oh, yeah, so basically, Decker's apologising for that contact there, but we've been told there, Decker's driver of the day. I don't know. I think I'd give that to Quincy, to be honest with you, starting from the back and into 4th place already. Yeah, I think Quincy's my driver of the day, but of course, that was kind of a given due to the fact of the pacey nature. I don't know. I'd say maybe even Den Bliss, maybe P1H9 eventually. If he can catch up, 5.1 seconds now is the gap to 1st and 2nd. But are these two going to battle hard with one another? Remember, Den Bliss does not have a 3-second penalty, so No Grip needs some sort of miracle here. He needs to be faster than the Kick Sauber, whose tyres are in the better condition. Of course, remember, P1H9 will need to be considered as Quincy into the pits here. And he's going to take away... Well, he's going to take away his 4th place there. I think he is actually just being kind here and just thinking about the drivers around him, and he's just going to Just going to take it easy as Jamaican Jam and Hash now do. But whoa, Hash there, messing up the brakes going through Vale. And, well, that gives Jamaican Jam 9th place. But now Gavboy, right on the back of the Aston Martin, has dropped away a little bit. Let's see. How has Quincy done this? I've got to go, guys. Well, Mr. Traps is now off us. Oh, my goodness me. Gavboy also messes up. Through Abby, that is. And now Quincy comes out ahead of Jamaican Jam. But how hard does Quincy fight is another matter entirely. Remember, scoring no points as he's not in his allocated car for full-time racing. And that was just because he thought he was going to be called into work, but that did not happen. So we'll see what happens. But anyway, P1H9 not making enough of a dent on that gap, to be honest. 5.1 seconds as they now start lap 45 out of 52. That is 8 laps to go at the line for P1H9. Well, now it's 8 laps to go as he begins the lap. As I think the actual advantage is on the traction zones here. So going through here is where the tyres are better. But of course, he won't have the straight line speed for obvious reasons because he's got no DRS. So he'll have to manage the battery as well. That is... Who is that there lapping? That is Jamsey there. So that is kind of how badly the race has gone for the Racing Bulls driver. It's just a rather unfortunate turn of events. I'm just trying to keep an eye on all the battles up and down the field as Quincy into the pits again. Yeah, no, he's just giving the positions. He doesn't want to get involved in any battles at all. He's doing the right thing in terms of gentlemen's agreements. And I think that is very respectful of Quincy there. Just to kind of get out of the battle and not really influence the championship in any way. He's not scoring any points, just to remind you, as he's not in his allocated full-time car. But he has been allowed to race tonight. But he's also acknowledging that he probably doesn't really need to be as high as he is. And he's just gotten out of the way and have allowed the battles to continue without him. So obviously, big respect to Quincy, but obviously that does change my drive of the day at the moment, and to be honest, I'm not going to know until the final lap comes around. At the moment, it may be P1H9 that takes it for his strategy, but of course, there's so long to go. I'm really not going to know until we get to the finish line, but I think drive of the day for me is going to go to the winner of this race, but Bracey as well at 4 positions. Good racing all around, to be honest with you. Quincy up 8 positions as well, but we kind of know his situation there. But I think it's going to have to go to one of these winners. It is now 7 laps to go, 4 seconds to this battle. And well, this has worked out for P1H9 more than anybody, because I was saying earlier on, although it's nice that he's bringing down the gap to No Grip, No Grip also needs to bring down the gap to Den Bliss, and that's exactly what's happened. So this has played into the Racing Bulls' hands quite nicely. And, well, there's still a long way. Well, I say there's a long way to go. There's still 7 laps to go. 3.6 seconds for P1H9. But at the moment, we also have a battle for 6th place that is developing rather nicely here for 6th place. But, of course, Ron has got post-race penalties 3 seconds. So all Race Chase needs to do, stay within that 3-second window, and he will benefit. But I think the American driver will want to get this done on track for his respective national team. DRS opening for Race Chase as he goes down the Wellington Straight, but again, just not close enough. And is he maybe just being deliberate here? Because look at Ron, he is catching to the back of Bracey. So is he maybe thinking about a battle later on as Jamsies takes the fastest lap of the race, but that is not going to be for anything at all. However, apparently my brother says drive the day for him since last season fighting for P10 and now fighting for the lead and start disconnecting yet battle for 2-4. He says cheers. I'm gonna wait and see on that. I'm gonna wait until the last lap, but here we go. P1H9 has got assistance from his teammate. Look at Jamsey here, is gonna try and assist him with DRS. Oh, this is oh so important. This is great teamwork. 6 laps to go, 3 seconds, and now he's got DRS as well. This has worked out perfectly for Jamsey here. Great communication between the Racing Bulls, if that's what's happened there. This is amazing stuff, and now we really will have a battle for the lead going into these final few laps. But also, let's keep an eye on the battle for what is now 5th place. So it was the battle for 6th, but now with Bracey involved, what's going to happen here? And look at that battle for the lead as well. 2.3 seconds for P1H9. This is going to be oh so close. And this is becoming a very exciting conclusion. We've got... have we got a battle between Hash and Gavboy as well? We do. That is for 9th place. So 3 battles have developed. What we've been looking elsewhere as Ron now gets past Bracy for 5th place, but that is only temporary if he cannot get that 3-second gap, because he'll have to serve that penalty post-race, as I keep reminding you. So really, the genuine battle for 5th is between Bracy and Race Chase, but now Bracy will have DRS with Ron, and I don't know if Race Chase is going to have a go. He was going to try it through Cops. Got very close indeed. Caution in Sector 3 for Meldrum. I don't think that's going to cause any safety cars. Would be rather convenient if it did, but Bracy under serious pressure from the Haas here. Haas with 4-lap pressure tyres, so you would think that the Haas should be able to get this move done sooner rather than later. But let's go on board with the American driver. He is getting oh so close to Williams, forced into a defensive maneuver, but nowhere to go. But also, let's have commiserations here for P1H9. Under a second, his teammate has done him a favour as Gavboy and Hash swap positions for 9th place. That is a genuine battle. In fact, they're still side by side as they go into Vale Corner. Let's have a look at this battle just for the time being. And the Asimov and the Red Bull make contact. Gavboy and Hash make contact, sending the Aston into a spin, and that kind of clears that battle for the time being. But also, let's just keep an eye on this, because now we have genuinely exciting battles. There are 2. There is 1 for 5th place between Bracy and Race Chase, and then we have 3 here for P1H9, I Have No Grip, and Dembliss for the lead of this race. What a great start to the season this has become. And surely now, Jamsey is... well, he doesn't want to get ahead of the leader. He doesn't want to start helping Dembliss at all. He just wants to keep helping his teammate. As Quincy into the pits yet again, he's just trying not to influence the battle, and I think he's just honestly hot lapping for fun at this point. Who can blame him, to be honest? And he's really got a lot of gaps to do so, and look at that. This is going to become a distraction for No Grip. He's going to be frustrated, but of course No Grip wasn't really in the picture to begin with this 3-second penalty for challenge violations, as P1H9 with a great run out of entry goes down the inside of No Grip, who has nothing to fight back with, and that is P1H9 to 2nd place. This could be an impressive debut here. Of course, I think it was somebody in the F2 League who got a debut win on their debut, but P1H9 will be about to follow through in this Nitro Realistic Racing League universe. And here we go now. There we go. Jamsey is now just backing off, allowing his teammate through. He's done the absolute incredible. This is amazing stuff from both Racing Bulls drivers, because now it's given A1H9 a chance at a win at his first time of asking here in NRRL. Blue flag waves, but it's not mandatory due to the ghosting of the car. P1H9 half a second away as we go on to lap 50 out of 52 with 3 laps to go. P1H9 is looking at his first win in this league, in this Sunday night division, and now we begin what are 3 laps to go. And, well, many opportunities for even Dembliss to fight back, potentially, if those mediums begin to fall off in these last couple of laps. But there is, of course, P1's teammate helping out there. Of course, Ghosted in all of this. He's allowed to do that. And here we go, DRS opening, and Dembliss forced into a defensive maneuver. Already left, right. Where's he going to go? He's trying to cover off lots of movement there down the Wellington straight. But now P1H9 just needs to think, and there is going wide. Brooklands, that is Dembliss wide of Brooklands, and that is P1H9 with the traction. But Dembliss not going to give this up just yet. P1H19 takes the lead of the Grand Prix for now, but Dembliss will be back, I can assure you of that. And now, is it go very wide there? Dembliss getting a swift of the dirty air. But now, Jamsey is going to give assistance to P1H9. He's going to have DRS, and Dembliss might be raging at this as Jamsey goes across cuts the corner. Who's got DRS? And yeah, both of them do. Indeed, I think, yeah, there you go. There's I Have No Grip as well. And yeah, Dembliss is probably going to be not so happy with this, I can imagine. And no comments at the moment in the Discord either about any of this. But I just wonder if Deadbliss is going to be happy. We'll have 2 laps to go at the line, but I just want to see what's happening here because nothing has really changed. As we have a caution in Sector 2 for Meldrum. Safety car cannot be called out in any circumstance at the moment. That's now P1H9 has escaped the DRS, so P1H9, honestly, I think is my driver of the day as long as he can keep it between the white lines. What a great strategy from P1H9, and it's paid off dividends here. He has now got over a second, and then his teammate Jamsey as well coming in to assist. Honestly, I don't see anything wrong with that in the rule book. Jamsey drive the day after this. I mean, I don't blame you for giving you that as well. Captain Spoon too. With, honestly, a very logical call there. Meldrum in the barrier again. And there we go. That is through... That is... Yeah, that's Chapel Curve there. There you go. Got there eventually. But here we go. Bracy and Race Chase are going to be battling for 2 more laps here as the P1H9 is just away by 2 seconds. Jamsey with teammate of the day, that is for sure. But honestly, P1H9 driver of the day for his strategy and just not giving up at all. It was an absolutely stellar race. And now, DRS open for both Race Chase and Bracy yet again. This is the battle for 5th between those two, as Ron has a post-race 3-second penalty to serve, which I don't think has increased at all. No, it has not. There you go. Deckers as well, just trying to make sure that nobody gets any more positions from him. Unsportsmanlike behavior, that. And that is, I think that's Ryan Brooks criticising the Racing Bulls duo there that worked together to get that move done. So I think Ryan is going to take issue with that. Or maybe the stewards, I should say. Beg your pardon. As that Race Chase is going to be very, very close to Bracy indeed. Here we go. As there we go. Bracy to the inside. But Race Chase to the outside. Bracy trying to close the door on the Haas driver. But it didn't work at all. Race Chase round the outside through Stowe. And that is 6th place done. And that is going to go move us on quite appropriately onto our final lap of the race. And well, P1H9, the expectations went to his teammate, but in the end, P1H9 has overshadowed him in one singular race. Do we have a new championship contender? Do we have someone rising above the expectations of his teammate and has completely overshadowed him on race pace, on strategy? As Deckers now gets a 3-second penalty, so that's 6 seconds for him. But now, P1H9 on his debut, with a few corners left in this race, is going to take his first ever win in this league. Take a bow, Racing Bulls. His teammate helped him out, but P1H9 is the one who converts the result into a win in Silverstone. Dan Bliss does eventually come second with I Have No Grip. Will secure 3rd place there, but otherwise, I think we have a very clear favourite in the championship as Bracy and Race Chase continue to do battle. Deckers and Ron, Deckers and Ron are obviously going to be 4th and 5th, but who, well, technically 4th and 5th, but actually that's becoming into a bit of doubt now as Race Chase has got the run here. It's not over yet between these two. Race Chase has battery, but does Bracy have more? No, he does not. Bracy is going to have to defend like hell. Can he do it? He's done it through there for the time being, but Race Chase still has battery of his own. Oh my goodness me! As Bracy has been nearly spun round by Race Chase. Goodness me! And it's still going on. The race isn't over just yet, but now it is for Race Chase and Bracy. Well, Race Chase will get 5th. Bracy gets 6th, but I think that's going to a post-race stewards review. And there we go. That is all said and done. Jamaican Jam will go 8th place as well. Gavboy 9th. Hash in 10th. Eventually, Jamsey, Quincy... Jamsey and Quincy 11th and 12th with 13th Matt Tudor eventually because he was 2 laps down. Bruiser finishes 14th. 15th is Meldrum. Let's just keep an eye. Hash there was one of the ones to look out for. And yeah, no, Dan Bliss very unhappy. Unfair win, he has said. But that's honestly my drive of the day goes to P1H9. Disconnected, still got 4th. Absolutely, and Deckers with a good drive as well, but I just think P1H9 just had the all-round better race, in my humble opinion, and the strategy as well to pull that off. Jamsy saying, well, Jamsy arguing that ghosted cars don't give slipstream, but they give DRS. And, well, I think there's going to be a bit of an appeal into that. That'll be a very huge talking point, and I'm not surprised, in all honesty. I thought Dan Bliss would have that reaction, and I don't blame him, in all honesty. But the podium celebration is for the Racing Bulls on top. The Alpine in third, and the Kick-Sauber in second, but will that stand? But either way, great. Sorry. It's not against the rules, says Dan Bliss, so no rule against it. But either way, race winner we all know. Fastest that went to Quincy with driver of the day on the game, and most overtakes as well. Cleanest driver went to Race Chase, but that final move for 5th place might be under review there. That might go to the stewards. But either way, your podium, P1H9, Dan Bliss, and I Have No Grip. And then it's Deckers and Race Chase rounding out your top 5 respectively. And then Bracy, Ron, Jamaican Jam, Gavboy, and Hash rounding out your top 10. 11th to 15th is Jamsy, Quincy, Matt Tudor, Bruiser, and Maljum. And then your non-finishers were Elthaniel, Josh, Mr. Traps, James, and Card Elf. So, that is round 1 of 24 races knocked out. We are going to be bringing you 23 more rounds of this. Let me just remind you of the calendar. We'll be in Bahrain next week, which I will be commentating, followed by the sprint in Belgium the week after. Then it's China and Japan, followed by Saudi Arabia, Interlagos, Zandvoort, Monaco, and Singapore. That rounds out the first 10 races with USA and Miami. With Miami and Barcelona rounding out the halfway point, and we'll end that on the sprint. But I think I will be gone after December, to be honest with you. So I will be bringing you the first 6 rounds, but then I will be whoever else takes over will bring you the rest of it. So I'll be bringing you about 5 or 6 rounds depending on how things go, and we'll take it from there. But otherwise, well, let's go to our post-race interviews. I think we'll have a few here and there, or will we? I don't quite know. Are we going to have post-race interviews at this time of night on a Sunday? I wouldn't blame them if they didn't, to be honest with you. But either way, that was a great race to begin the league. But P1H9 taking the win. But I think it will stay. And yeah, no, exactly. Dan Lovett also saying in the Discord, bring your tickets in and then it will be discussed. But yeah, no, I don't think we're taking post-race interviews as it is late on a Sunday. But yeah, no, Ryan Brooks said, okay, so to kind of explain it, P1H9 got his win because his teammate was ghosted, he was lapped, Jamsy, and gave DRS to him and continued to give it to him by cutting the corner. And that was kind of it. So that's what happened there. And that's what we're talking about. It's unfair, yeah, says Dan Bliss. Oh, until next week, what happened? But yeah, so basically, just to let you know, let's see. Hang on a moment. Sorry about that. Just a second. Hang on. I'll explain in just a moment. So, yeah, basically P1H9 didn't do anything wrong, but his teammate Jamsy was giving P1H9 DRS by being a lap down, and you can just review the final few laps where Jamsy was giving P1H9 DRS. That's kind of one of the big talking points out of the win. But P1H9, I don't think he's going to lose it, to be honest with you. It's just a very weird situation, as Dan Bliss says correctly. P1H9 himself hasn't done anything wrong, but Jamsy giving DRS as a ghosted car to his teammate, that's kind of... yeah, it's a weird situation, to be honest with you. So, I don't know. However you want to interpret that, I'm not sure, to be honest. So, I mean, but it might have been influenced. Well, ignoring blue flags, you never know. You never know. I mean, well, we don't know. We weren't really in the VC, unfortunately. Do not assume. Yeah, the best not to. It's best not to. Honestly, I've done that before, and that didn't go so well. But anyway, either way, it's certainly a big talking point. Yeah, it's certainly a very, very big talking point as well. But Jamsey, the fact is, Jamsey gave P1H9 DRS for the rest of the race. Well, it certainly brought up, that's certainly the main talking point out of that one. But either way, P1H9, your winner in Silverstone. And that concludes that, of course. It was Den Bliss taking second, and I have no grip in third. Deckers, after being disconnected, P4 and P5 in the end going to Race Chase. But of course, a bit of controversy between Race Chase and Bracey on the final lap. And yeah, no, definitely see you next week. But anyway, I think we're going to all conclude from there. I've not seen anybody come into the commentary box. Give it about 3 minutes. I don't mind doing it for you, but I know it's very late for you, so have a good night. Yeah, I think we're just best wrapping up. So I think because it is late and people will have things to do tomorrow, I think we'll just kind of wrap it up there. But otherwise, that was a very good race indeed. Lots of talking points indeed. Of course, P1H9, I think, is going to be... Oh, hang on. Good race, said someone. Whoever that was. Huh? Who was that? Was that P1H19 coming into the VC there very quickly? Okay. We'll just leave it there. But otherwise, it was okay. Thank you for letting me know, Dimbliss. But other than that, we'll be back next week, same time at 8 p.m. BST, GMT, because we've now changed daylight savings. So we'll be back in Bahrain. That, if this was anything to go by, that should be a very, very exciting round. But otherwise, I will see you. I will see you then. I should be here up until about round 5 or 6. Of course, once I get into the new year, I can't really guarantee anything from there. I'm afraid, because I will be in the process of moving. So I think once round 5 has concluded, that will be the end of my commentating. But hopefully we have a good 5 rounds, and whoever takes you from round 6 onwards will be just as great, and I'm sure they will. Otherwise, from myself and everybody at the Nitro Realistic Racing League, we thank you for watching. We thank you for your patience and while we've been sorting all this out. And we certainly have got a good season to look forward to. 23 races to come over the next few months. But otherwise, we'll see you next week. 1 week at a time. And P1H9 taking the lead early on in this season. From myself and everybody of the staff members and the drivers, we all thank you for watching. And from wherever you may be in the world, we wish you a very good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. Stay safe, stay alive, look after your mental health, and we'll see you in Bahrain. Goodbye.